Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and want to see more. Coming up in today's video, we'll have a look at all the NRL results, troubling ongoings at St George Illawarra Dragons, and trouble with Huddersfield Giants team as COVID has awarded a 24-0 win to the Castleford Tigers. So we'll begin before we go into the NRL results with a story that is coming out of St John's Illawarra, as Paul Vaughan and 12 others have been flagged for suspensions and fines over a house party that has landed the club into hot water even. Vaughan hosted the party at his house in Shell Harbour, which has seen 13 people fined $1,000 each by New South Wales Police. It's Vaughan's second bubble breach in less than 12 months after he made what he described as a reckless and selfish decision by attending a cafe in August. Ominously for Vaughan, Abdo, as in Andrew Abdo, NRL boss, says those involved in multiple transgressions could expect to face harsher penalties. If we see repeat offenders or we see flagrant disregard for the rules, we will have no hesitation moving people out of the bubble, and they won't be allowed to train or play with their clubs, he told Radio 2GB's Ben Fordham. He hosted the party, he's a senior player in that group, and he breached the protocols last year. It brings into question whether Paul is able to adhere to the rules. Abdo has said the NRL is working around the clock to resolve the matter, with sanctions expected to be announced in the next couple of days. He continued in his statement, "It's not the news any of us wants to get. Everyone is working so hard to keep the competition going. There's 900 people inside the bubble, players and officials in lockdown, level 4 protocols, which are even more stringent than the public protocols. We're doing that for a good reason. We've made a promise to the community. We've made a promise to governments that we have strong protocols that protect the community and the players, and to protect the community and the players, and that we can adhere to them. When this happens, it puts all of that in doubt, makes us take a backward step." This is coming off the back of when I reported last week that the Canterbury Bulldogs were in hot water due to COVID breaches. It's a crazy one that this has all gone down. Problem is, the NRL have now made the decision, as they have slapped the 13 players that caught up in the house party with monster fines totaling $305,000. Each player has also been handed breach notices by the league that will translate into time on the sidelines. The notice has handed Paul Vaughan, who hosted the party at his place of residence, proposed an 8-match ban with a fine of $50,000. Takes into account Vaughan's prior biosecurity breach in 2020 and the fact that he withheld key information from the integrity group. The proposed sanctions for all the other players who attended the gathering, including 1-match suspensions and fines. The NRL alleged that a number of players hid or fled from the scene when New South Wales Police attended the home after complaints from neighbours. According to News Corp reports, Dragons players attempted to cover up that teammate Jack Bellin was involved the residence before the 30-year-old was found hiding under a bed. De Belling was handed a $42,000 fine by the NRL. It's also alleged that a number of players gave or who were involved in giving misleading information about the event during the NRL's investigation into breaches, and that some players conspired to withhold key information from the NRL. Dragons CEO Ryan Webb has expressed his dismay at the 13 offending players from the club. The 13 players' arrogance and ignorance to both NRL biosecurity protocols and the state government's public health order is upsetting and infuriating, Webb said. Every member of the club's Apollo register were communicated their responsibilities and limitations under the 4 protocols on numerous occasions. The 13 players have let the rest of their teammates, the entirety of the hard-working staff, their families, the wider community, and most importantly our Red V members, partners and fans down. The entire club and our stakeholders will now be punished as a result of a combined 20-week suspension procured between the 13 players. The Dragons hold no reservations over the punishment handed down by the NRL Integrity Unit or the New South Wales Police, given the players' complete disregard for both the game and the community expectations. I'm now going to go through the players and the fines that they received because of these COVID breaches. Blake Lawrie got $20,000 and Corey Norman $50,000. Daniel Alvaro $15,000. Jack Bird $25,000, Josh Kerr $18,000, Josh Maguire $12,000, Cade Ellis $5,000, Matt Duffy $23,000, Paul Vaughan, as we mentioned, the host of this party, $50,000, Tyrell Fuimano $12,000, Zach Lomax $31,000, Jack DeBellin $42,000. Gerard Beale $2,000. So now we're going to have a look into the NRL games from the 1st of July on to the 4th of July, as there was a full roundup of fixtures, full rounders fixtures for week 16, and a lot of games that have varying results. There were a few blowouts and there were a few close games, and we'll cover that in this little brief now. So the first game that we're going to cover is Sydney Roosters versus the Melbourne Storm, and as you can tell it was a rout as the Roosters were beaten 46 points to nil. There's a lot to go through, so I'll cover the tries and the conversions, as Joshua Addo-Carr scored 3 times with Nico Hines going over, as well as Dale Finucane, Kenny Bromwich, Cameron Munster and Brandon Smith. 7 goals from Nico Hines, 2 conversions and 5 penalties were enough to see off the Roosters. During the game though, there was one incident on Cameron Murray that has been reviewed due to a dangerous contact from Daniel Saluki Fafita of the Roosters. He has been issued a grade 1 dangerous contact. Early plea was given and he was given a 1-match ban, and guilty at the judiciary, a 1-match ban in total. And Jared Wahero Hargreaves was also given a grade 1 fine, grade 1 penalty, as he was given a contrary conduct. He early guilty plead of a $1,900 fine, guilty at the judiciary of $2,250 a fine. So the second game that we're going to look at is the New Zealand Warriors versus St George Illawarra Dragons. This happened on Friday the 2nd of July 2021, and both teams in different form. The opening 20 minutes was intense, both sides were coming close to the line, with the Dragons finally opening the scoring with a penalty goal from Corey Norman. sadly, it was the last conversion Corey Norman would kick for the night. Ben Hunt came up with some bright passages after the play after the conversion. First, his kick planted the Warriors deep in their own half. Then he stripped the ball from Ben Murdoch-Masila. He then backed up a pass to Paul Vaughan, collecting the offload from the front rower and sliding in for the first try. While the Warriors looked fatigued off the back of a heavy tackle load, they scored next with a clever try from Wade Egan from dummy half. The Warriors earned more ball as the first half went on and crashed over through Alicia Katoa. In the second half, the Warriors started the half in the same fashion as the finish and were able to convert their dominance into a try through Bunty Afoa. The Warriors forwards were rolling their way through the middle of the defence of the Dragons. The middle period of the half went pointless, with the Dragons' attack ineffectual against the Warriors' defence. A Dufty cut-out pass in the final 10 minutes led to 10 minutes of play led to Gerard Beale try, but the misconversion from Norman hurt their chances. And that's for St George. Chad Townsend attempted a field goal, missed off the back of the 7-tackle set. Jack Bird made the Warriors pay, chasing through his own kick to score. The decision to go for a field goal with an 8-point advantage was questionable, but helping set up an intriguing finish. As the siren sounded and deep on the attack, the Dragons found an unmarked Cody Ramsey out on the wing, who went in to score. Corey Norman failed to convert and the match went to golden point. Unfortunately, 2 mistakes from the Warriors caused, in the second half of golden point extra time, Corey Norman to get the ball, and it ended up that he kicked a field goal from that mistake, and it led to an 18-19 win for the St George Illawarra Dragons. Now I should have it right. Anyway, so it was served up in entertainment for the neutral, but Warriors should have won this game. So the next game was also on Friday the 2nd of July 2021, and it did seem like that Friday was the humdinger for the NRL, as this one was served up as another spectacle. So in the first half, the Western Sydney derby was all it was hyped up to be, and then some. Penrith was looking to secure a place in the top 2, while Parramatta was looking to break in. Both sides had to work their way into a contest, and after 20 minutes of back and forth, Maker Sivo ripped off the shackles. The benefactor of pressuring Mitch Moses' kick and the Clint Gutherson overhead pass, Sivo scrapped and whirled his way to the left corner on all fours, evading 3 Penrith defenders in the process. From there, Parramatta was in control, hounding the Panthers' line until Brent Naden intercepts ripped the momentum from their clutches. Minutes later, Tyrone May zeroed in on the in-goal, and Penrith took a 6-4 lead. It was a testament to their prowess. The Eels owned the half for the most part, but the Panthers fought hard to stay within touch, and when their opportunities came, they grabbed it with both hands. Half-time, Penrith 6, Parramatta Eels 4. In the second half, Moses' kicking game had haunted Charlie Staines all night, and as his high bomb grazed the Penrith clouds, spooked Staines froze in terror. His fateful decision to let the Steeden bounce amidst the wave of blue and gold runners proved costly, as Isaiah Papali'i stole it from the grasp and forced his way home under the sticks. Not aside to sit idle, the Panthers got to work recovering from their horror start to the second half, ultimately striking back through a Parsi carousel. He skipped past Sean Lane a little too easy and gunned to the line, putting Penrith ahead by 2, but not for long. An illegal strip ruling dealt the Panthers a double blow, as they wasted their captain's challenge before Moses coolly converted the penalty goal to level things up. The scoreline 12-12 that ensued The 12-12 scoreline that ensued would bind the sides for a tense 20-minute period as Golden Point loomed. With 3.5 minutes left on the clock, Penrith blinked first. Burton lined up a field goal attempt but shattered the woodwork. Moses didn't waste time replying, sweetly striking an audacious attempt from 55 yards that skewered left. A minute and a half now remained, and Burton rose to the occasion, piercing the uprights to gift his side a 1-point advantage. With the stands ghostly empty as a result of New South Wales lockdown, Burton's joyous and relieved cheer echoed throughout the Bluebet Stadium. The Panthers were home and hosed for all money, but this blockbuster was not done dishing up surprises. Desperate for a miracle, Parramatta's prayers were answered when Waka Blake was obstructed by Liam Martin in the pursuit of a short kickoff. The referee's whistle was a brutal blow, culling Panthers' celebration across the country. Every player was reduced to a spectator except one, Mitchell Moses, and with the weight of the match coursing through his muscles, his 31 metres kick drifted left, missing by a matter of centimetres. Eels' hearts had been shattered, while Panthers' hearts, broken just a second ago, and mended. They had survived the ultimate scare and without Nathan Cleary. So we start off on this Saturday with the Bulldogs hosting the Manly Sea Eagles, and it was a complete blowout, unfortunately, as the Bulldogs were nilled at 66 points to nil by the Sea Eagles, and it was just the form. Bulldogs haven't been playing well for quite some time, and it proves so, as Ruben Garrick, a hat-trick from Tom Trbojevic, Tua Fofua Sipley scored 2 in the first half for the Sea Eagles, with Carl Lawton, Ruben Garrick again, and also a hat-trick from Jason Saab, scoring in the second half, meant that the Bulldogs were going home penniless on this front. Ruben Garrick had a wow with his boots, kicking 11 goals, and taking his total points to 30 for the night. I don't know what's next for the Bulldogs. They are in trouble, and they need to do something fast. They need the spirit of James Graham or someone like that in their team, a leader, because at this moment in time, the Dogs are going out without a whimper. So the next game that we have on our hands is the Newcastle Knights versus the North Queensland Cowboys, and unfortunately it was another nilling for the day. This time for the North Queensland Cowboys. They were beaten 38 points to nil by the Knights, with Kalen Ponga, Connor Watson and Dominic Young all scoring 2 tries apiece. Ponga and Young each setting up each other's tries. They were involved in all 4 tries, the 2 handing off to the other. And also Jacob Safiti going over on the 13th minute was enough for the tries that went on for the Newcastle Knights. 1 point. Dominic Young is going to be playing for Jamaica in the Rugby League World Cup, so that's something to be excited about, as they have a genuine youngster who's got great potential, possibly to be a star in the NRL. Jake Clifford had a good night with the boot, kicking 5 of the 7 tries, but that leaves the Cowboys looking for a win again, as things are not going so well with them also. I thought them, Brisbane, even the Bulldogs, who are more in the last 10 years have been premiers, been champions of the NRL, should be doing better than what they are. So Saturday's final game saw the Canberra Raiders play host to the Gold Coast Titans. As we know, Canberra Raiders' form has been spotty at best, and it's a complete reflection of what the Titans have been up to. But the Titans have been picking up performances, getting better with every game that they play, and it showed in this game as they caught the Raiders on their spotty days, as they beat the Gold Coast Titans beat the Raiders 44 points to 6. Sam Williams scored the only try for the Raiders on the 56th minute, which Jared Croker, who was returning through a spell on the sidelines, converted. The second highest point scorer in NRL history, has been out for a while, so they needed him back desperately. But the Titans ran in quite a few tries also, as Kevin Proctor scored twice, as well as David Fafita, Miyuaki Fotiuka, I apologise if I've butchered that name, Jamal Fogarty, Brian Phillips Sammy, no that's wrong, Phillips Sammy, Patrick Herbert, and it was Brian Phillips Sammy, just not put it right on the actual form here. Whereas enough to give the Gold Coast Titans the win, who, if I'm remembering rightly, moved up 3 places to 12 with that fantastic performance. Now we moved on to Sunday the 4th of July 2021's games. There were 2 for the Sunday, and we'll start off with Brisbane Broncos hosting the Cronulla Sharks. Sharks, who have not been the best in recent weeks, to be fair. Winning last week, but not doing so well in this game, to be honest. Brisbane Broncos, whose form's not been the best all season. All sorts of concerning comments coming from all corners about the Brisbane Broncos, as they used to be a big team. And also, their stadium is the Queensland home patch. Brisbane, though, did well in this game, as they ran out 26 points to 18 winners against the Cronulla Sharks. Alex Glenn, Tessie Newer, Ethan Bullimore and Jesse Arthurs. Newer was went over for 2 tries in the game, with Jermaine Isako was kicking 3 goals. Aidan Tolman and 2 from Connor Tracy scored, were the scorers for the Sharks, with 3 goals all converted by Sean Johnson. Sean Johnson is one of those players who are joining New Zealand Warriors for next season, but still was running the show for Cronulla Sharks, doing everything that he can with his jinking mazy runs to push his team forward. Unfortunately, it was to no avail today. And to finish off our round-up, the last game of the weekend in the NRL was the most entertaining of the lot, as West Tigers hosted the South Sydney Rabbitohs, and the Bunnies came out winners at for this game, as they won 38 points to 22 against the Tigers. Tigers though scored played well throughout the entire game, as Adam Duahihi scored 2 goals, with Dane Lowry scoring, and also David Nofalumo. Duahihi kicked 3 goals out of 4 attempts for the Wests, while Tane Milne, Cody Walker, Alex Johnson with 2, and Campbell Graham also with 2, followed up by a 71st minute try by Cameron Murray. Was enough to see the Bunnies through. There was 5 goals also kicked by Adam Reynolds from the 7 tries. So it was a good day for the Rabbitohs from the win standpoint, but the Tigers made them work for it, as they were competitive, as I keep saying throughout this entire conversation. And the results has been given in Super League, as Castlefield have been awarded the 24-0 win in their Betfred Super League fixture against Huddersfield Giants, which was scheduled for the 6th of July, tonight, when this video comes out on air, after the Giants were unable to field 17 men. In a statement, Huddersfield's on Castleford's site. In a statement on Castleford's Castlefield's homepage, they said the Giants on Sunday advised that they would be withdrawing from the fixture. Among other factors put forward by the club, 2 members of their squad were unable to train for COVID-19 reasons until they received the results of the CPR test. 1 having had positive lateral flow test and was showing symptoms. Another 2 senior players were required to isolate pending the results of the PCR test as close contacts, but the total of 4 players in the top 25 paid players unavailable for COVID reasons would not meet the threshold for postponements of a fixture under the COVID-19 framework, which stipulates a minimum of 7 players. As Castleford withdraw from previous scheduled fixtures, which was awarded 24-0 to St Helens, this failure by Huddersfield to fulfil the fixture will be referred to the RFL Compliance Department as off-field misconduct. This statement was also corroborated on the rugbyleague.com website as a confirmation that Castleford have indeed been awarded the 24 points to 0 win. This after they had to withdraw themselves, as mentioned, against St Helens earlier this week. So I think that's why we're going into more percentage of wins for the title in the League Leaders Shield, and then the playoff games afterwards. I hope that we don't see more of these tests coming back positive, as it does put a threat on the rugby leagues for stopping the game from being played. But it's what they have to do at this point. I know there's a lot of injuries across the Super League as well, so I'm still thinking they should have had a close down week for all the clubs on the international week, and then do another one for the Challenge Cup final. But hey, who's thinking outside of the box now? So that's it for another video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember, like, subscribe and share the video worldwide. If not, I'll come and say hello. But in the meantime, all the best, stay safe, and remember, it's just for fun. All the best.